Kindness to Animals in Religions. Part 1 of 3. Baha'i. Briefly, it is not only their fellow human beings that the beloved of God must treat with mercy and compassion, rather must they show forth the utmost loving kindness to every living creature. Writings of Abdul-Baha.
Be ye the embodiments of justice and fairness amidst all creation. The Kitab-i-Aqdas.
But to bless animals, the utmost kindness must be shown, the more the better. Tenderness and loving kindness are basic principles of God's heavenly kingdom. Ye should most carefully bear this matter in mind. Selections from the writings of Abdul-Baha.
Look not upon the creatures of God except with the eye of kindliness and of mercy. For our loving providence hath pervaded all created things, and our grace encompassed the earth and the heavens. Gleanings from the writings of Baha'u'llah. That seeker should show kindness to animals, how much more unto his fellow man, to him who is endowed with the power of utterance. Gleanings from the writings of Baha'u'llah.
Buddhism. A state that is not pleasing or delightful to me, how could I inflict that upon another? Samyutta Nikaya.
All tremble at violence, all fear death. Putting oneself in the place of another, one should not kill nor cause another to kill. Dhammapada Sutra.
One is not a great one because one defeats or harms other living beings. One is so called because one refrains from defeating or harming other living beings. Dhammapada Sutra. He who desires happiness for himself by inflicting suffering on others, he, entangled in the bonds of hatred, is not freed from hatred. Dhammapada Sutra.
Hurt not others with that which pains you yourself. Udanavarga.
At the openings of anthills, please have trustworthy men always put food and water, sugar and piles of grain. Precious Garland.
All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas essentially practice the principle of great compassion. The suffering of living beings brings forth their great compassion. From this great compassion emerges the great wisdom, and with this great wisdom they attain the ultimate enlightenment. Advatamsaka Sutra.
People who eat meat will fall into the horrible paths of transmigration and suffer boundless pain. People who eat meat will never succeed in getting any blessing or merit that they pray for. Meat eaters cause the celestial beings to avoid them and other sentient beings to be afraid of them. Surangama Sutra. All the saints abhorred eating blood or flesh. Celestial beings never go near people who eat meat, as their mouth always has a foul smell. Meat is not good. Meat is unclean. Meat eating generates evils and destroys merits and blessings. All the saints denounce eating meat. Lankavatara Sutra.
I forbid all meat eating, regardless of whether the animal dies naturally or is killed. I have never allowed my disciples to eat meat, and I will not allow in the present or future. Lankavatara Sutra.
All sentient beings came from the same origin. Through myriad reincarnations, all sentient beings have been relatives of each other. How can we eat the meat of our relatives? Lankavatara Sutra.
People who eat meat are destroying the great merciful seed of their own Buddha nature, and any sentient beings seeing them would leave them. Therefore, all bodhisattvas or spiritual practitioners must refrain from eating the flesh of any sentient beings, as this will incur boundless sin. Brahmajala Sutra.
Kaudai. All sentient beings are created by the most compassionate, thus all are one. The most compassionate's love and care for life, therefore, is infinitely great. And since we're one of his creation, we're also bound to the law of creation. Therefore, the killing of any created being would hurt the most compassionate. And to hurt the most compassionate is to make heaven and earth to be in deep sorrow. Now, do you think the worldly people should dare to trespass the law of heaven? We thereby must understand clearly that we must have mercy and love towards the weakest animals, first to avoid karmic retribution, for heaven law never biases anybody. Although our physical eyes can't see it, no good or bad deeds, however small, goes unnoted. Another reason is, every human being born in this world is bestowed by God a higher spiritual capability than other created beings, so that we humans may take care of the weaker beings for him. The collection of saintly teachings.
You should understand that everything emanates out of my spirit. Wherever there is life, there am I. I am the progenitor of life. My love of life is unfathomable. Life is given freely to all living beings out of my being. I distribute life everywhere in the universe. Life erupts like a flower from a tree. It develops from the bud into bloom and evolves to form fruit that seeds more trees ad infinitum. If someone cuts that flower, the fruit of life is interrupted and future evolution is prevented. Each life has its own karmic plan. It does not matter whether it is an original or secondary living being. Its life on this earth is divinely appointed. If you kill any living being, you shall be punished. No one knows whether a living being may have been an immortal or a Buddha reincarnating to earth. As I have said, all life is me. To destroy life is to attempt to destroy me, and it is not easy to destroy me. Teach that to human beings. The collection of divine messages.
For more details, please visit suprememastertv.com/scrolls.